In our first story, members of the Teachers and Education Workers Union at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have resolved to hold series of meetings to pile pressure on government to expedite processes and actions in reconstituting the governing council of the university. This was after its members staged a demonstration on the campus over what they said had been government failure to officially furnish them with its representatives for the newly reconstituted council, thereby delaying the process. TEWU is also insisting it will not present any fresh representatives and that a new council will have to work with its representatives on the dissolved one. Charles Arthur is chairman for TEWU KNUST.
The power to take a decision is vested in the entire members, and you have seen it yourself that we met here this morning and the entire members are saying that until and unless that they have gotten to know and see clearly that the council is in place working, the members of TEWU have decided, unanimous decision, that they will continue meeting here to find solution to the impasse. How can a university be reopened and there will be no council to give direction? In the governance of the university, the authority is vested in the council. It is the council that has the power to come out with the policies. So every entity or officer within the university takes its source or its direction from the policies of the council or from the council direction. So without council, there will be no governance in the university. So the position taken by TEWU, I think it is in the right direction.
But who is to blame? Who is to blame in all this?
Who should we blame as of now is the government that has failed to submit its representatives on council. Since the government accepted that it will do that, and then the Chancellor Otumfuo said to the second Asante Hene gave them up to Wednesday of last week that they should submit its members so that he will bring the entire members together and then inaugurate them. Friday, 2nd, unfortunately, the government did not bring its members, and as a result of that, the Chancellor couldn't do his work. Hence, this decision taken by TEWU. We have also heard this as a hearsay, but officially we have not heard that that is the government position or government has submitted. And as we speak now, TEWU has not received any letter that council is going to be inaugurated, as has been the case. TEWU will not indicate to the government that government should bring A or B or C. If so, then it is a reciprocal process. Equally, that the government cannot tell us who should be there. The issue is that government bring your members, TEWU bring your members, UTAG, convocation, professorial and non-professorial, CHAS, alumni, you understand? So that entity in its own wisdom decide who should come, and not government interference. We want to make it clear that this is not the first time, you understand, that such a situation is happening, i.e. council is being reconvened and members are submitting their old members.
On the other hand, government's position on the reconstitution of the governing council of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology is that individuals who sat on the old council ought not to be on the new one. Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah at a press briefing explained that this is because members of the dissolved council are party to the impasse and so should not be judges in their own courts. Though he admits government failed in meeting the November 2 deadline to submit its nominees to the council, it is committed to ensuring the school is reopened as soon as possible. Mr. Nkrumah believes a fresh council altogether will do a thorough job in attempts to resolve the impasse, and those found to have played a role in last month's disturbances would have to be brought to book.
The point that we want to make is that government remains committed to having the KNUST reopened, hopefully by Thursday, the 8th of November 2018. Now, as you recall, the outbreak of violence and destruction of property following a student demonstration on October 22nd is what compelled government to move in and intervene with a series of emergency and interim measures on the KNUST campus. Though the interim council that was put in place has been given up to 3 months, government's subsequent assessment is that it can hand over the university and all the emergency measures taken to a new council earlier than expected, if one is agreed upon and inaugurated as soon as possible. Government has indicated its proposed new members to the KNUST Council. We've submitted our names to the Office of the Chancellor. It is our understanding that two other groups, CHAS and NCT, have also done so. That's our understanding. I also confirm to you that government's position on the membership of the new council is that individuals who sat on the old council ought not to be on the new council. The reason is this. The old council is a party to the impasse that took place on the KNUST campus. Just as the actions of students, student leaders, school management, and the council will be subjects of the full investigation when the university is reopened, it is important to ensure that a council that is put in place has the freedom of hand, etc., to superintend that exercise. So the specific persons who constituted that old council cannot therefore preside, in our opinion, over the matters in which their own decisions and conduct will be a subject.
In other news, the Right to Information Bill may suffer another setback as the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee is being skeptical about meeting the November 15 deadline. On JoyNews Current Affairs show, PM Express, Chairman of the committee, Ben Abdullah, told host Evans Mensah that looking at the volume of work that needs to be done on the bill, the deadline may be missed once again.
15th November. We have as many, I won't say yes, I won't say no. No, you don't have the luxury. The reason is... You imposed a deadline on yourself last week.
Yes.
So myself, Dr. Santi, and the public, we're hoping that you keep your word. So you can't say, I will not. You said you will.
Yes, the point is that Dr. Yene knows, and Dr. Santi even knows, that when they came before the committee, they proffered a lot of amendments.
Okay.
We have as many as 138 amendments.
Okay.
And we've done about just a few.
Yeah, we've done it.
And we are still considering amendments as and when they come.
So let's settle this so that we don't lift people's expectations because of the deadline and people are counting. We cannot, based on what you just said, and we'll go to the details of why we can't, pass this by November 15. True or not?
No, what I'm saying is that leader has said that given the exigencies.
I want us to be honest.
Yes.
So when is 15?
Leader has said it.
Yes.
That we'll try and pass it by 15.
You're working on the bill.
Yes,
I'm asking whether we can do that within that time.
Possible to pass this bill before 16. But given the numerous amendments that we have, I'm afraid whether we can do it before the 15th. Because on the 15th,
let me just add briefly. Okay, yeah.
On the 15th,
there's a budget.
Yes. And leader has again intimated to us that even if we are not able to pass it by the 15th, we'll take it after the budget has been read. Because when the budget is read, there is an interval
before the debate starts.
Before the debate starts. So during that transition or period, he will see whether we'll try and facilitate and fast track the process in order to have the bill passed. Tentatively, we should expect the passage of the bill by the end of this year.
By the end of this year?
Tentatively. Well, let's turn attention to some education stories. And teachers of the Enchita Senior High School are requesting for a 1-month convalescence period to help recover from the psychological trauma they suffered as a result of last week's student riot. They are also requesting the services of a psychotherapist throughout the period to help them adjust to meeting and teaching students who threatened to take their lives a week ago. The teachers have since refused to go to the classrooms, forcing authorities to send students who reported to school just on Monday. Well, JoyNews' Fred Kwame-Sari, who has been following the development, the aftermath of the riot, filed the report.
Enchita Senior High School was closed down indefinitely last Tuesday following a riot staged by students in protest of seizure of their phones a week ago. Properties were vandalized in the riot, which was specifically targeted at some teaching staff. 17 motorbikes belonging to the teachers were damaged beyond repairs, whilst the homes of 2 of the teachers who seized the phones were vandalized. The school was subsequently closed down after several meetings with a possible reopening on Monday, November 5. But the proposal for the reopening has been met with a fierce rejection from the teachers. They are requesting for a 1-month convalescence period. A business accounting teacher at the school, Felix Owusujima, gives details of a petition presented to government through the office of the Enchita South Municipal Chief Executive.
In front of them and be teaching, whilst a student will be threatening to kill the teacher just because he's ensuring that the right thing is done. That is why we have sent that petition. Notwithstanding that fact, we'll just have a look at the properties that were destroyed. Both government and personal properties that have been destroyed. At least there should be a solution, or there should be an issue at stake. That once this issue has happened, the elders will put things in place in order to ensure amicable solutions, so that when we teach them, we'll be able to teach them with all our heart and might.
Authorities are yet to meet the request of the teachers. Hence, the Form 1 and 2 students have been asked to go back home when they reported on Monday morning. The third-year students were allowed to go through the West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination registration process. They were also sent home after the registration. Paul Boafonyako is the headmaster of Enchita Senior High School.
Going as far as raping teachers' wives, raping female teachers on campus. So they have gone through a lot of psychological trauma. So before even they can go and stand in front of the students and teach them, they need a psychotherapist to come and take them through all those things, so that they'll be able to reset themselves before they can go back to the classrooms.
Meanwhile, the students are appealing to school authorities to act swiftly to ensure school resumes soon.
Right now, what we will say to our teachers is we are very, very sorry. We are feeling regretful for what we've caused them and the pains we've caused them in their hearts. Right now, we are on our knees, apologizing, pleading with them to forgive us. What has happened, they should please forgive us and come back as parents and teachers and come and continue with their teaching.
I feel bad. What should I learn? Even understanding is not coming. So, I'm appealing to the teachers. They should come back to their senses, even though we know that we have wronged them. We are pleading on behalf of the name Jesus Christ too.
Fred Kwame Asari's report for JoyNews.
And before we go, the impact of the industrial strike by the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Association of Ghana is gradually hitting hard on some basic schools in the Upper East region. JoyNews Upper East region correspondent Albert Sori has been doing some checks since the strike started on Thursday, November 1. Currently reporting that some pupils now go to school just to play around, subsequently go home, since there are no teachers to take them through lessons while in school.
This is the Shirigo Primary School in the Bolgatanga municipality. At this time of the day, these pupils are usually in their classrooms having lessons. But today, it is all play and no work, or rather, no lessons. Some of them even play inside the classrooms. Their teachers are on strike and therefore are not in school today.
The teachers, those teachers that always teach us to get knowledge, to become better people in the future. If the teachers go to strike, what are we going to do again? You will not learn. After all, if you go to home and sit, you will not learn anything. You will not become someone in the future. So we want the teachers to come and teach us. So the government will pay the teachers the money.
If you sit at our homes and we say we are going to learn, you will learn, but there is something that we can't understand it. And if we don't understand it, who are the people that we ask and they will tell us the thing? So the teachers have to come and teach us. So if they go to the strike, we won't get any knowledge to add to our knowledge, so that we will come to become people in the future. So
at the Nyokoko Primary School and several other basic schools within the Bolgatanga municipality, the situation is not too different. The Coalition of Concerned Teachers Association of Ghana on November 1 declared a nationwide strike. Their reason? Government had failed to pay them arrears on their salaries for 2 years. The coalition says A 31st October ultimatum they gave government to pay the arrears had expired, with the government doing nothing about their concerns, and this necessitated the strike. Richard Sunday Yimbil is the Upper East Regional Chairman of the Coalition of Concerned Teachers Association of Ghana.
These grievances are basically the arrears accrued from 2013 to 2016 to now. It's also about the SIC-GS policy, which hit teachers on the blind side of our mind. Even though the leadership of various unions were aware of it and support of the insurance policy, but the manner in which it was handled and implemented, we were against it and we are still against it. Based on that, we asked government to refund the tendency of deducted from every teacher's salary back to the teacher. Up to now, from July, we have not heard anything. August, we have not heard anything. October, and we are on November. We have received series of letters notifying the authorities being concerned. Labour Commission have been served several times with letters about this our industrial action. We have not heard anything from them. You have owed somebody 2 years arrears. The person have graduated from College of Education, worked for 2 years, 1 year without salary. You have posted the person without considering the distance from the person's house to the posting location. The person have struggled to work for 2 years without salary, and you only give the person 3 months of the 2 year salary. Can you imagine what the person was feeding on? Most of these people were those who were even affected with what? The withdrawal of the teachers' allowances. Most of them. So can you imagine how much they could borrow to keep themselves up during the school time and out of the school, waiting that they would.
He says no word has come from government since they declared the strike, and that means the strike will continue for as long as it takes government to meet their demand. For now, these young ones, Ghana's future leaders, will continue to bear the brunt of the tussle between their teachers and the government. Albert Sorry, Joy News, Bolgatanga.
Oh, they have free space to play, space that should be occupied by decks. Talking about space, a lack of space at the dining hall of the Laura Secondary School has compelled students to eat their meals under share and ebony trees. The dining hall, which was constructed to cater for less than 1,000 students, now serves over 2,000. Visibility and ventilation in the hall is poor, thereby forcing the students to eat in the open. The students say they have fears this could lead to an outbreak of an epidemic. As the school prepares to celebrate its Golden Jubilee on Saturday, our Upper West Regional correspondent Rafiq Salam visited the school and brings us the latest on the scenes there.
This is the Laura Senior High School. It started first as a middle boarding school before it was converted to secondary school in 1968. The vision of the school is to nurture young minds and develop them to take hold of their future and transform society. Current Paramount Chief of the Laura Traditional Area, Napole Cabo III, was in his 20s when the school was established.
One person who was very instrumental in the development of this school was the late Lorana Jorbie Akodam Cabo I, who devoted all his time to ensuring that education was well developed in the then Laura Confederacy Council. And it was highly respected, and he had time in terms of support materially and spiritually. He used to go to the school and make sure that no child at boarding school died or suffered any injury. That was the spiritual aspect, but he supported the school with food stuff and spent all his resources to put the school moving. Another founding father of the school, that is Alaji Badamosi, the first headmaster, really had a great vision for Laura Secondary School. In fact, as a scientist, a physicist, Alaji Badamosi established the school as the best science educational institution in the then Upper region, later on to the Upper West. and he did all he could for the boys.
3 years after its establishment, Edmund Kwemezi Powell, who later became the 10th headmaster of the school, was admitted into the school.
Laura Sek, for its short lifespan then, was very popular in so many things, like sports, academics. So we used to hear of all these things, and one wished to be there.
He says his thought on life at the school 45 years ago.
A lot. Without Laura Sek, I couldn't have been sitting as you see me today. Maybe I would have been some local man wearing some rings around my neck, and he would have been afraid even to get near me.
The number of students at the school has astronomically increased over the years. The current population of the school stands at 2,288. The current staff strength stands at 137, comprising of 79 teaching, 58 non-teaching, 15 national service personnel and interns. With the increasing number of students at the school, the limited facilities are now overstretched. More pressing among them is the inadequate space for students at the dining hall. In order to avoid the crowds at the dining hall, some of the students have to move extra meters to avoid the crowd and poor ventilation at the hall. They eat under ebony and shade trees located close to the hall.
Since everybody's not able to enter, we have to just put tables and then benches on the verandas for others who will not be able to enter to have their meals out there. So because of that, we are not able to sit there and eat because of the congestions. So we have to send them to our dormitories. And since in our dormitories, there will not be any much sanitation as compared to eating the dining hall.
We have a dining hall that is still very small. So we are compelled to eat. The students are compelled to eat in batches. So this really affects our instructional time, especially the lessons that we have to take immediately after the meals. That is breakfast and then lunch. It's worrying us.
Headmaster of the school, Yen Simon, says they want to use the Golden Jubilee to overcome the challenges at the school.
It is not easy to turn 50 years. They need to come around and celebrate with us. They should come around and celebrate with us. As our team have it, we are trying to look at our past to see which are the areas that need improvement. Who are the people behind the successes that we have talked so far? How can other people also come in to help us to improve upon what we have? So we want everybody to come in. If they don't come in, they may not even know the challenges that we are having now. I know LOSEC can go further than this, but we cannot rely on ourselves alone. We need people. So we are appealing to people to come in, help us, give us suggestions, and I know that together we can move LOSEC far, far ahead of where we are now.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Laura.
Well, quite interesting times, especially at the school there. We hope that they get the needed help as they go mark their 70th anniversary. But please, let's move on. We'll do a review of the newspapers. Mamavi also, Bwaji and I. Kojo Yankson is a bit under the weather this morning, so we'll make do with the two of us in the meantime. But please get interactive. Facebook, JoyNews on TV. You can also watch us live. My Joy Online TV is our regular channel on YouTube. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll look at the newspapers, myjoyonline.com. And perhaps we'll go to the United States. You know, the midterm elections are on today. At least we have about 35 million people in the state of Texas having voted. And, you know, the U.S., they do it. And Donald Trump is all in the midst of all these. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.